Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Give My Head podcast, episode 18, did you say there? 17. We've made it to 17 episodes, and we are delighted, ladies and gentlemen, because we have a brand new sponsor. We have Phoenix Energy is now sponsoring this podcast. Thank you very, very much to Phoenix Energy. Phoenix Energy, you know Phoenix Energy. Phoenix used to be Phoenix Gas. They used to dig up the street. They've stopped doing that now. They're lovely, lovely people. Phoenix Energy owns the gas distribution network from Larne to Newcastle. Gas heating. Jake, do you have gas at home?
I have gas. I love gas. Gas is so convenient. I can't imagine being without gas.
Well said, sir. No, you're absolutely right. It is very convenient. You get instant heat, you get instant hot water, no oil tank in the home or garden. You never run out, and it is kinder to the environment, which we all need right now because the world is a dangerous place. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, Phoenix Energy gives you flexible payments, easy to make the switch. It's non-disruptive. Please go to the Phoenix YouTube channel or their website for tips on how to get your home ready for winter, finding a local gas safe registered engineer, and everything in between. And also, Damon, what are these good people at Phoenix Gas doing?
I'm interested in this sort of energy transition thing where they sort of say that they're working on introducing biomethane to the gas network as a renewable alternative, and that's using animal waste from local farms and using it to fuel the network. I mean that's yeah. Well, I mean, Jake, do you make biomethane?
I make it very regularly.
Yeah.
Usually in bed with my wife.
Right. She complain about that. Yeah.
She does indeed. I'm going to tell her from now on I am being environmentally.
PhoenixEnergyNI.com, our new sponsors, ladies and gentlemen. Go and look up PhoenixEnergyNI.com for all your energy needs. Tell you what you could do as well. If you fancy switching, go to PhoenixEnergy.com, but pop into our other sponsors at Drip Cafe on the Ormer Road. Drip Cafe, your coffee is superb.
Drip.
Bring a wee laptop, look on PhoenixEnergyNI.com, and you'll sort out your energy needs and get a delicious cup of coffee. They do a fantastic cinnamon whirl as well. They do a superb Huevos jalapeno, because I was in there recently. Do you know the way I lead a very glamorous celebrity lifestyle?
What was you?
Huevos jalapeno.
Huevos jalapenos.
What is that?
Eggs and
It's a fry. It's a fry. It's a fry. You're saying it's a fry.
Jalapeno. What's that? Like a chili or something?
It's chili. It's sourdough bread. It's absolutely delicious.
You can certainly make a lot of biomethane after having huevos jalapeno.
So go to Drip Cafe. I lead a very glamorous lifestyle. I was in IKEA buying plastic lids for plastic boxes, and I bumped into the guy who runs Drip, and they're opening a new one in Dublin. So we'll hopefully get an invite, Damon, to open the new cafe in Dublin. So thank you to our sponsors, PhoenixEnergyNI.com and Drip. Ladies and gentlemen, we're absolutely delighted to have a guest on the show who I know very well. But this, believe it or not, he's obviously one of our finest and most well-known comedians. This is your first ever podcast.
This is my first ever podcast. I've never done a podcast before. This is my first one. Be gentle with me.
We're always gentle. We're just very easygoing.
I have been asked before, yes, but this is the first time I've said yes.
Wow.
Only because that your actual guest dropped out and you phoned me last night at the last minute to say, please come.
Yes, that is
makes
true.
me feel really special. Really?
No,
That's right. It was Paddy Keatley not available, wasn't it?
No. We did have a guest.
What number was I? 7 or 8? How far down the list did you get?
You were number 1, Jake. And you immediately said, F off. And I said, Jake, you're on tour at the minute, aren't you? And you went, right enough. Yeah, I better come on and plug my tour. You are on tour.
I'm starting at the end of December, as always. Me and Mr. Terry McHugh will be doing our usual
Terry
route.
Very well.
Yes, we'll be out. Yes,
you
you stole him off me for a while. Yes, so we're out from the end of December right through to
What's
February.
it called?
It is called the Absent Intelligence Tour.
The Absent Intelligence?
That's actually a misprint. So it was supposed to be the Alternative Intelligence Tour, a play on words on artificial intelligence, but even that got ballsed up in the translation. So it's now Absent Intelligence, which I suppose that's more realistic. That's more realistic. So,
well, look, you and I are of a certain age. And the last time I met you, I turned 60 this year.
Yeah.
And when you turn 60, you don't get anything from the government. You don't get a letter saying, congratulations, have some money. You get a bowel cancer screening test. Mm-hmm. You get a thing through the post saying, hello, Tim, happy birthday. Would you like to shit on a stick for
That's
us?
what I
Shit on a stick.
Shit on a stick.
Yep.
That's what I
And then I got a phone call saying, we've examined your stools. Would you like to come in and have a colonoscopy? So I'm quite worried about my colonoscopy. I dander into the Royal Victoria, no, the City Hospital, and who do I meet? Well, I haven't seen sitting in the waiting room to get his second colonoscopy.
Do you know what? This is one of my problems. I have no memory, so I thought it was my second. It was my fourth.
Your fourth?
My fourth. I think they're beginning to think I enjoy them.
I was about to say.
He's back again. Oh! I think this guy's liking this shot. That was my fourth. I'm celiac, so I have to get tested on a somewhat regular basis.
Right.
But
You're a whatiac?
celiac.
Oh, right.
Gluten intolerant. I have
Oh,
got
right.
every ailment known to man. So one, it's like whack-a-mole. My health now is like getting to an age where it's like whack-a-mole. You hit that there and then something else pops up. And the medicine for this causes something over there, so you have to go and get that tested. So they gave me, then my back went, so that was another thing. So the anti-inflammatories to treat the back caused me to shit like a human slurry spreader, and then they brought me in for the colonoscopy. It was clear, thank God it was clear.
Oh, well done.
So, but now I'm still dealing with the back, and but that I love. That's there's demarcation of age. It's when you get the Saga holiday brochure for the first time through the post. You know, it's over. It's over. And I was telling you earlier this week, I got a Stairlift advert.
Dennis Stairlift.
Forget about it. No, it's over. That's you know what I mean.
Well, you see, that's the sad thing about this is we are of a certain age, Jake, and you've been doing comedy for a long, long time. A lot of people won't know that you were actually in Two Ceasefires and a Wedding, which was 1995, which is nearly 30 years ago, my friend.
The original Two Ceasefires and a Wedding. That's the original Give My Head
I want to
piece.
tell people what, because some people might go, what, Jake, was it
You're a
Two
bastard.
Ceasefires
You're a
and a Wedding?
bastard. You're a bastard. You know, I was given one line.
You weren't
one
given
line.
one.
I was given one line. They gave me one line, and I would love to say that I did, and I ballsed it up. I completely ballsed it up. I think there was about you four were standing at the back of the camera going, fuck.
No, you're mistaken. You see, you're thinking of Give Me Head Peace, but you were actually in Two Ceasefires and a Wedding, the pre-one, where you did a certain point.
Julian Simmons.
You were
did the Julian
Simmons. You
Simmons
announced the
impression.
No memory. I've no. Was it?
Yeah.
Seriously,
No memory.
No memory. I have no
Seriously.
memory of that. I'll tell you. Ask me later on. I'll explain to you why. I have no memory of stuff. I don't retain stuff.
You played Julian Simmons.
Yes,
You
with the
announced
makeup.
Uncle Andy.
Yes.
Uncle
Yes.
Andy was about to.
No.
Two
Yeah.
Ceasefires and a
Yes.
Wedding with Bill
You had,
and
I
Ian.
should say you had red hair in those days.
It's a long
Yes.
time ago.
Yes.
I have no. Yes,
You've no memory
vaguely,
of that.
vaguely, it's coming
You
back
played
now.
Julian Simmons.
Julian.
Where do you hear now? The loyalists are called the wee ceasefire, but never mind about what's coming up now. in
That's right.
Coronation
So
Street.
did. Thanks for reminding me of that. I just no. Just sort of just.
But that was 1995.
You serious?
Yeah. But before that, we saw you in The Empire Laughs Back, which
Yep.
was 94. And I don't like to say this in front of you, but we did 2 nights there. You remember we were on, and there was Kilty and there's all sorts
Yeah.
of people.
He was the funniest.
You were the best. Genuinely.
You were the best.
That was the one pissed me off most because I was promised if I was good, I'd get about 4 minutes. And I think it was one of the best shows I ever did.
Yeah.
And I remember watching
You
it.
stormed
watching
it both nights.
Yeah, you're watching it at home, and I got about 20 seconds. I took a hump after that. I walked away.
Rightly.
I took the hump, took a huff, and I stopped doing it for about a year, and then I had to crawl back because there's nowhere else to do it.
Right.
But that was the first lesson in comedy and the reality of this business.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? So it doesn't really matter. It's we don't control that. Once you have a camera in front of you, this is different. But on TV and whatever, you don't control what's going to go out. So you're at the mercy of whoever's going to produce it, direct it, or edit it. You know what I mean?
For every Mozart, there's a Salieri producer.
Yay! So I got the balls cut off me in that one. I didn't. I hardly appeared, but that was one of the, I did. I knew myself that I'd done really well.
Yeah,
that was a good night. That was a good night.
You were brilliant. That was the one. That was. If I remember, the routine was about. It
was a-
discos.
it was a dancing routine.
Dancing
Yeah.
routine. How do you?
Yeah.
How you?
That was the first bit of material I ever wrote.
Yeah.
First bit of material I ever came up with was the fact that we can tell, we are able to suss each other out without being overtly sectarian. You know what I mean? And people from the outside could never work out because we actually do look the same. You know, most of us. Right, New Lodge is different. I give you that there. And parts of East Belfast there, but usually we do. So it's these wee nuances of questions, these wee innocuous questions. So that was the first bit of material I ever wrote.
That was hilarious.
Was that wee bit of material?
Great routine.
How did you start it before that? Were you in Edinburgh with Murph before that?
No.
You
No.
was
No.
after that.
I tried to get into the Empire. First week Empire opened, I tried to get in. And remember, there was
by the way, have you seen the BBC are doing Rewind and they're putting out old bits? 1992, they have the opening of the Empire in 1992.
Oh, yeah.
And a very young Jackie Hamilton and Paddy Keelty.
It was
the best part of that routine that you did in the Empire that night was you were talking about dancing. Of course, we all, the daddy dancing, up here, Fred Astaire, down there.
Quasimodo.
That's a brilliant night.
But it was, and I couldn't get in. And then, because I was nothing show, but I know what I had worked at was as a doorman.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I'd done the door in places. And I knew the doorman. And I was chatting to him, Big Paddy, and I said, "What's the score?" And he says, he says, and he knew me from old, and he must have sort of says, "Why do you do an open spot?" I what's an open spot? And he says, "You get up and you do 10 minutes, and you could definitely get in. You're guaranteed to get in." And I thought, I'll give that a go. I'd always loved comedy. You know what I mean? Billy Connolly's a god. That was always my god. So I always watched comedy, and I just did that wee thing. I could give this a whirl.
Right.
And so.
But at that stage, there was literally nothing happening in Belfast.
Nothing. Well, the Empire was the first.
Empire in 1992.
Yeah.
I think it
but I was very, very fortunate because I did the Empire and I did very well, thankfully. And I was obviously you can't come back next week, so they said it's going to be a few weeks. But McElhatton's, remember in Lower Donegal Street, opposite the Irish News, they opened their own wee club above the bar in the lounge. And I went over about a week later and went in and said to the boss, I said, "Listen, is there any chance you get?" He says, "Oh yeah." He said, "Have you done this before?" "Oh yes, absolutely. Oh yes, very experienced. Oh yes, very experienced stand-up." So he says to me, "Do you want to compare?" I had no idea what he was talking about. I had no idea. And the wit to sort of go, "Well, what would you be asking of me?" And he explained it. You have to bring the first act on. You have to do a wee bit in the second half. You close at the end. And that was me. I got that gig. Then for the next 3 years.
Right.
And that was where, you know what I mean, that's where I got the experience of how to do it properly. Very fortunate.
Yeah, but that was the time when literally there was us and there was Keelty and there were the old comedians and the Dickie Bows, but that was basically it.
Yous were the first. I remember sitting in a restaurant or a cafe shop and yous had an advert up. I think you were doing the festival or something. And it was the first time I'd seen people from here who were doing it. You know what I mean? So that was the first time I got well, there's something shifting here. You know, there was something at that time. But then there was an explosion. There were at that time there was about 6 wee clubs suddenly opened up overnight.
The Delacroix and Derry, I remember.
Oh!
The Delacroix.
Delacroix.
What experiences there?
Oh, I had experiences in the Delacroix. I had some very interesting experiences. I had an English comic get up one night and first of all, it's great to be in Londonderry. Woo-hoo! And from there, and you're sort of, I've walked people off that stage. Playing I love the Delacroix. Delacroix is good. But the Derry audience are very, they either love you. It's like, here, you're going to know pretty quick.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I haven't been in the Delacroix in years. I mean, is it still going?
No, I don't think so.
No. Yeah.
The best one was, who was I taking up? I forget. He was well known then. He's disappeared. But the whole way up, this is true story. The whole way up the Derry, he just bitched. He just, you know what I mean? I'm driving. This guy was. I don't know why I'm here. My agent's a bastard. What's he sent me over this wee shithole for? I should be playing somewhere in London. I should be doing something big. And it just went on. So anyway, we get in there and we walk in and there's 4 guys sitting at the bar and there's only about 20 in. And I knew right away, this guy, it's just the blood drained from him. And I thought, he's straight into the dressing room. And I went in, I thought, what? He says, "Do you know who's sitting out there?" I said, "Who?" The head of Channel 4. The commissioning head of Channel 4. Seamus Cassidy. His mother lived across the road and he's over visiting his mother and decided to drop over and your man, we could never get to see him. He'd never get to perform in him. Right. And of course, serve him right, his balls fell completely off and he died in his arse.
Oh, did he?
And I went, "Yes, you bastard." Then he's over to the bar trying to lick all around him. But I thought, there's justice, you know what I mean? You never know who's going to be sitting at the bar.
I mean, back in the day, like, comedians were rare. I mean, it was a bit like Thunderbirds. There was only about 10 of us.
That's right.
Right? But now, everybody's a comedian. I mean, it's almost like, it's like a middle-class profession now, isn't it? I mean, will I be a lawyer? Will I be a doctor? No, I think I'll be a comedian.
It's sometimes you'd go on, I'm anti-social media, as I call it, and you get, these biogs and, stand-up comedian, and you start going, I've never seen you. I've never heard you. You know what I mean? There has to be a certain level. You know what I mean? It's one of these things you can call yourself a comedian.
Yes,
you know what I mean? You have to have died in your
it.
arse for a certain amount of time.
Yes,
you
certainly done that.
You need the scars. You need to have paid your dues before you can actually call yourself that.
We were in Edinburgh Festival and people were literally walking out of our show in droves.
Rows of them.
Rows of them.
Going out in rows.
But you need to have done your time, don't you? You need to have done the clubs and stuff. And
You have to have done something. Do you know what I mean? That's the bottom line. Because of this, you get a camera, stick camera on, and you can do whatever. And there's some great stuff coming. There's some great young guys coming across, and girls too, and it's brilliant to watch it. But there's a lot of shite. You know what I mean? Let's be honest. There's a lot of absolute fucking dung. You know what I mean? Two guys sitting talking.
Do you want to name 2 names? Or?
No. Well, you know what I mean? My cock. You see my cock? My cock's bigger than you. My cock's bigger. I don't know. Yeah. But here's the thing: you got to have died.
3 old fellas now.
You got to have died.
Young people today.
You got to have died. You got to have died. You've got to have the deaths behind you. You know what I mean? And any comic who says I haven't died's a lying bastard. Right. You know, and we've all got the death stories. Right. Smiley, no Michael Smiley.
Yes, Michael.
Smiley was comp parent over in London. He was doing very well, and he came over, done the Empire. So I get the phone call, do you want to come over? Because I was doing the political stuff. I was doing sort of political stuff that was sort of, the gig he was doing, he thought this would be really, really good. And it was the Hackney Empire, one of the most historic. Chaplin played there.
Yeah.
So I thought, fucking, no, absolutely. And I went over, it's even embarrassing even admitting this, you know what I mean? I was not, just let's say, it was a different time and I was a dick, you know what I mean? So Smiley brings me out and I walk out onto this massive stage. But they had the footlights still then. So you can see nothing. You can see, like, literally, you're just blind. And at that time, female police officers here had been given guns. Right. Comedy genius! You can see it. You know what's coming here?
Yeah.
Comedy fucking genius. And I came off with this one. Well, I expect for fatal shootings to dramatically increase once every 28 days. Oh! No! Do you know what I mean? To even admit that, to even hold your hands up to that is so shite.
I think we have to cancel this podcast now. We're sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen.
It was so much. I paid a price. And there, justifiably, there was complete silence. But then through the darkness came this plastic cup. The forehead, and then the booze and whatever. And I had the wit to know, get off that stage. And when you walk off the stage to the sound of your own feet, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Smiley couldn't even come on. He's in the corner laughing that hard. He was literally on the ground laughing so hard he couldn't come on. So yes, you learn. We
have a certain agent, David Hull Promotions.
Yes.
David Hull put us all through. To be fair to David, when we first went full time or almost full time, he got us gigs in every hole in the hedge. Some were less good than others. Have you been through the David Hull?
I've been through the David. I remember saying David's great line when he phones me always is, you know what I mean, Jake, don't say no till I finish the sentence, right? And then you go, it's a 50th birthday in a golf club. No! No! Either and or one of those two propositions, you're still going to get no from me. You can do it. You have balls of steel. I can't do it.
You have put my children through university, my friend, because you refuse to do any corporates, any gigs that you do.
You once told a story about a David Hull too. I think it was, there was the chairman of the club come up and had a word with you just about a second before you went on.
The gig it was sold to me. I love David. David's great. David's David, he's the nicest man in the world. He really is, and he's so good. He's been good to me because I'm not exactly, I'm not a more cuddly person. I'll be very straight.
Can we say thran? Was that a good Ulster Scots word? You're not good at licking the arses of BBC executives.
Anybody, you know what I mean? And he just manages me perfectly. He knows just how to keep me in. But anyway, I was sold the gig on Jake. It's a football club. It's young people. They really love you. Okay, so I'm driving out. And it was somewhere out near where Tato Factory is, the crisp place. Yeah. But you're driving out, and suddenly the street lights disappear, right? And then the roads get smaller. And then the houses disappear. And then you're getting spots of light. You know what I mean? You're going out to the outer universe of this place. And there's no GPS in these days. And I eventually found there was a wee pub. And I mean, this was like out Well, it was filmed Werewolf in London. That's what this was. In the middle of nowhere, this pub. So I get out. And I go to the car and I'm walking over to the door and there's 3 old fellas with the cloth caps. All right, son, how you doing, son? Would you be the comedian? I say, I'm indeed. I say, shit, you not. Well, I'll tell you what it is, son, now, we're a mixed audience. And we wouldn't want any talk of politics or sex or religion. And I'd always say, I want a mic and I want a stage. Yeah. No mic, no stage. Oh. Standing in front of a turf fire that would burn the arse off asbestos, right? Sweat beating off me. And I did it for... I did it for 10 minutes. I had them. And the average age, I'd say, was 76. I swear to Christ.
What it was like... club was this?
I have no idea. And I think after about 20, I said shit. And I may as well have pulled my woolly out. You know what I mean? You just started here then. Thanks very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for me. That's all for me. Good night. So David would have me, and he has you in places that, you know. But I'm a sensitive child, you see. You can do it. I would go home and cry.
Yeah, but you see, you need to go through those experiences.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
You do.
No, you don't. No. See, but I'm lucky in that I've got fuck off money.
Yeah. Well, you have a business.
You're a business. What fuck off money is, it means that when I get a sort of call saying, "Do you want it?" No, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I know I'm lucky in that sense, that I'm able to just go, no, I don't want to put myself through that. I don't want to put myself through it.
You don't have to do the Steel Industry Guild annual award ceremony. No. You don't want to.
It would kill me. You see, I would.
But you are antisocial, you see. Whereas I like people. I don't mind meeting people and stuff. And you'd have to sit and eat a dinner with a crowd of accountants and make small talk and then get up and do 20 minutes. You wouldn't want that.
Anytime I've done it, I've made a balls of it. You know what I mean? There was one of the ones was down in Europa, and there's a guy with I don't know what it was, but this guy was wearing a chain of office that would make King Charles look sort of this is blingy thing, and he made the most boring speech I have ever heard in my life. Right now, you would have got up and ignored that. You couldn't. I couldn't ignore that. You know what I mean? I got up and I said, well, after that shite, anything I say is going to be genius. And you can see all the people trying not to laugh. He's the boss. He's the one paying the bills. So no, I'm not built for that. I'm not built.
No.
But you made your fortune in alcohol, though, didn't you?
I made my fortune in many things.
Yeah.
Most of them illicit. And always, I brought him in that game. Yeah, I was brought up in the drinks game. So
your dad was a publican, wasn't he?
My dad was a publican, yes. Way back in 1952, he began in Belfast. So that's where the family started off.
And then you ran an off licence in the New Lodge, is that right? Sir?
No, I don't.
Right. Wrong about that? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you never ran it?
No.
You've never ran an off licence?
No, never.
Really?
No. Don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about. You're
got me
associating
there.
me with New Lodge Road. You're trying to say I come from New Lodge Road.
You got me there.
He's a Dungiven man.
No, I've been. I was born in New Lodge, and I want a wee business there. So that keeps the wheels turning round. But that's a whole different story. We don't have time.
So the comedy's just on the side then, but it's not quite.
Comedy's not. It's always. I love doing it. Do you understand? I've been very fortunate to find a hobby that pays me. Yeah. But it's never. I've always had that thing where if I don't enjoy it, I'm not doing it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Once something starts, which I suppose is a bad thing in a way, but I think you can stay to do things, and then you start doing things for money, and you're tied in, and there has to be enjoyment for me.
Yeah. Well, do you know what the bad news is? We were talking about getting old and being a certain age. If we were to die, God forbid, tomorrow, Diego Kane, flags.
Oh,
the flags routine in Derry in 2013, I think it was. And that's what you'd probably be.
Delamere's a wee bastard. Delamere's very sharp, as we both know. Delamere's very sharp. Neil Delamere's very sharp. And I was coming off a stage that night. He turned to me. He says, "That's your death piece." That's what you're talking about. He says, "When you die, that's all they'll ever play." See if you get one piece.
Yeah, true.
I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? So that, and the other thing about that was nobody believes it. I was not sure whether I was going to do that until I sat down that night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I don't rehearse. I can't rehearse just because I've got strange brain, and I just wasn't
before
sure.
You get, because this is absolutely true. I've heard you do a solo show, and most other normal comedians prepare it and they try stuff out and they do works in progress and stuff. Your show, first show of your tour, would be the first time it's come out of your mouth.
Yep,
that's what the are you thinking?
Well, I'll
that's
tell you what
all
I'm thinking.
brand new, an hour or a bit of brand new material.
Saying we're close friends and no one else
Yeah,
will
yeah.
ever hear about this, actually. Well, I got a diagnosis of ADHD last year.
Oh, did you?
Yes, I did indeed. So that explains an awful lot.
Right. Oh,
That
does
explains
explain,
an awful
that
lot.
does explain.
Listen, now, I had a friend who had it before. Basically, the memory thing. See, that's the thing you were saying to me. You did. So it's this character X. I have no memory. I have no. And I was beginning to think, I can see bedpans and people
Right.
waiting. So I was very fortunate. A friend, a computer geek over in Edinburgh. He's a big programmer, and we're chatting one day about something I'd forgot or done or whatever. And he diagnosed a couple of years early. He says, "Have you?" And I'm an open-minded person. You know what I'm like, Tim.
Very
And my
easygoing.
my first reaction was,
Easygoing.
"Load of bollocks, just a load of bollocks. Don't talk shite." I said, "It's an excuse just for not whatever." And but the wee seed, and then I thought to myself, and of course you can't get diagnosed here because the NHS is over. So what happened was I had to go online to a guy in Edinburgh. And lovely man, and he starts questioning you, and you start getting asked these questions, and they're so, it just is strange. So at the end of the first hour, you get
ticked
two
every box.
Well, let's put it this way: at the end of the first hour, your man turns around and he says, "Now, Mr. O'Kane," he says, "I have been this is my ADHD is what I've been doing for the last 25 years. I never usually give a diagnosis after the first consultation, but I can say." With absolute certitude, you have barn door. I'm going, hold on here, doctor. Hold on. Let's reel this in a bit. So it explains the memory thing. I don't, I was sitting with a wife watching one of these travel programs, and it was the Everglades, in Florida, with one of them big windy boats, the big boats with a fan. And I'm sitting going, we're going to do that someday. We're going to do. And she's sitting going, what? I said, I want to do that. We did that. We did that in Florida. We were in Florida. It's always about we just were dumps. But it explains, I was remedial at school. I was at kids all through primary school. I was sent round. My job, I was a high functioning remedial. I could read the numbers in the doors. Right.
Well, you're obviously a very bright guy, but you weren't great at academia. You weren't. Good
I couldn't concentrate. Right. I had no ability to concentrate. That's why
you were sent to the sand pit then.
I was in the sand pit. That's what I say. I've done that material where you were all learning how to spell and how to count, and me and about 6 others were in the sand pit. My job was to stop Jerry eating the sand. You know what I mean? So it functions. I should always say then I can't. No, Jerry's done. I said my guys in my sand pit done very well. I says one of them got into banking. Northern Bank, but that doesn't matter. I says, Jerry ended up in politics. Cannot tell you what his name is. That wouldn't be fair.
Jerry would now deny ever being in the sandpit.
Yes. So it's, but that's why. And well, the nice thing the guy said after the 2 hours was he said, I said, no, I know two things, right? I will never see you again, which is true, because over the years you learn coping techniques. And you don't realize you're doing this shit. Right. But over the years I've been sort of finding ways to maneuver around stuff so that I don't my show has pictures, right?
Right.
Now the reason it's got pictures is I'm visual. So if I have a picture up there, that's 10 minutes. I don't need. But you see, if I have a big thing of text to learn, it's not going to go in. It just won't go in. So I've been doing all this stuff. I'm working around stuff all my life and finding ways to live with this sort of neurodivergent. That lovely word. I love that word.
Neurodiverse.
Where when I was a child, it was,
he's not right. Child's not right. God love him. He's a wee bit odd.
He's a wee bit simple.
He's a wee bit odd, that child. Good child, but look at that there.
Look, I used to. My ma, we were sitting one time visiting my ma, God rest her. She died a couple of years ago. Me and the wife, and my ma turns to the wife and says,
See him. He was a nightmare. He was in child. He was a nightmare. He'd go out playing with his friends and come in, take off all his clothes, wash himself from head to feet, put on new clothes 3 times a day.
And I'm sitting going, did nobody think that was fucking unusual? Did nobody think that maybe there's something wrong with his child that he needs looked at? But on them days,
he's just a wee bit odd. Just a wee bit odd, that child.
So that explains all that.
So when you're going on stage, the end of December, your first show, the first time it's literally come out of your mouth. Yeah. That's unbelievable. That's kind of. I mean, I've seen your shows, and I'm hoping to get a couple of freebies this time as well. You give me that look like...
You always do. You've never paid to see me in your life. You've never paid in your life. You miserable bastard. Not once. You never. You're a scathing bastard.
I need you to feel
Jake, our person we're interviewing hasn't turned up. Now, if you don't want to come, it's all right. Because we're only starting off, and I don't know how it's going. I'll go.
I'll be on your podcast if you ever have one.
I'm not having you.
Stop digging, Tim. Stop digging.
No, it is. It's people don't believe it, and it's just it's the way my brain works. It works.
And the photographs and stuff helping you.
Yeah,
the guys in the
they're
ICU
just
get
cues.
Just
cues. They're visual cues. Here's the thing. There's negatives and pluses to all this stuff, right? I have a visual. I should have been a cop. See if I'd have been a cop, there'd been no fucking criminals because I would be just. This is true. We went to Boston, the wife and me, a long time ago. But
the ombudsman would have been busy if you were a peeler.
You imagine
the ombudsman would.
Wait, the wife always says that. I watch them programs on TV. I know that the catch a spidey wee bastard, and he spits at them or something. And I'm going, hit him, hit that. Beat the shit at him. The wife always said, you'd have been a cop for about half an hour. You'd have been done for brutality. But anyway, we're in Boston, walking through Boston, and I stop. I'm standing at the lights, and I turn to my left, and there's a wee girl there standing with her boyfriend, husband, whatever it was. And I went, how you doing? And she sort of went down. And I says, I know you. She had served me a coffee in Belfast 6 months earlier, and I recognised her face.
Well.
So the visual stuff,
right,
it doesn't. Names. Okay. Here's the point. You hear this, Damon. Right? This is true, right? He's doing the Empire, right? Doing the Empire one night. I'm Compere. I know him 15 years. We're doing the blame game together every week, right? Nothing. If you'd have put a gun to my head and said, what do you call him? I mean, there was nothing, right? So all I did, now, ladies and gentlemen, this man needs no introduction, as he is well known to every... And as he's passing me in the stage, he went, you forgot my fucking name.
Yeah, you did.
McIntyre. I forgot McIntyre's name.
Michael McIntyre.
I forgot his name.
Oh, Michael McIntyre was on the Blame Game radio show. You had the best put down for it. Do you remember this?
Tim, what have I been saying for the last 5 minutes?
Michael McIntyre, he wasn't big at the time. He was on the radio show. We were in a wee room in the BBC.
Right.
Michael McIntyre was all right, but he was a bit English, shall we say? And he mixed up our names and he called you John or David or something, and you said, no, it's all right, and Michael, I understand, sure, for English people, we all look the same.
No memory of that. But I would take that.
No,
yeah. I don't know if I said it, but I'd take that.
He didn't call you Paddy. That was
nice. That was nice.
Yeah, but to go back to the flags thing, because the flags thing is, I'm afraid it is going to be your episode, but you obviously had to spend the night before making wee flags.
No, the BBC did that. Here's the beauty of the BBC. I did ask for the flags as I wanted the thing, but being the BBC, they only did one side. They're only printed in one side. So Murph had seen us, and he's sitting, and he said afterwards he was sitting shiting himself because knowing how dipsy I am, he half expected me to put the wrong side out. So I put the flag with the wrong side out. But it's
but that route, I mean, it's probably still got millions of hits, has it? I mean, every now and again it comes up on my thing going, explain Northern Ireland, it's the flags routine, and it's still...
Comedy, when you hit on something that's zeitgeist, right? See if you can hit on something like that. Yeah. Maybe you only do it a few times in your career, but you hit on something, and what it is, everybody recognises it. Yeah. Everybody's, everybody can sort of go, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. And that's where my wee friendship with Jimmy Bryson started.
Is that right?
Oh, me and Jimmy are best mates online. Me and Jimmy are mates online. Never met. Never want to meet. I'm only joking. I know, mate. But so seemingly that's the only time that he's been mentioned on TV that he can actually show his kid.
Jimmy tried to get free tickets for our shows.
Really?
Yeah, Jimmy, a couple of times.
I offered him twice, and the wee bastard didn't come.
All right.
And the bodyguards mustn't have turned up.
We'll have him on here. Will that be too controversial? We'll have to think about that.
No, get him on. He's
all are welcome here. All are welcome.
We've had the Lance
and everyone.
SGLP.
We're
trying to get Jim Alistair on.
Oh, That'll be a fun show.
Well, Neil Delamere. Remember Neil Delamere? Do you remember? You're a bad bastard sometimes.
What?
You are a man. Do you remember we went out for Christmas dinner one time, blame game?
Oh, yeah, I remember this.
And Neil Delamere. Neil Delamere is quite sensitive about his material. Neil Delamere takes his comedy very, very seriously. And Neil Delamere had a brilliant joke. He had a brilliant joke about Ronan Keating. Ronan Keating left his wife and took up with a new woman, right? Mm-hmm. And the new woman looked a bit like the wife. So Neil Delamere's joke was, Ronan Keating's left his wife. He said, typical boy's own. He even did a cover version of his own wife. Which is a great gag.
That's
it's
funny,
a great gag,
that's
right?
funny.
We're out for a Christmas dinner. Jake said, what did you do to Neil Delamere? You said to Neil.
So we're sitting at dinner, and I thought, right, okay. And he's very proud of that.
He was proud of that.
He loved that joke. He's very
proud.
So we're sitting chatting. You had to play it right. You had to you couldn't be so I'm sort of sitting all the rest of it. And Paddy was doing something. Paddy Kilty was doing something in the UK at the time. Channel 4 or something. And I was just sort of, I says, were you just watching Kilty the other night? And so, no. And I said, Neil, he done your joke. I just, no, I don't. Word for word, like it stormed. It absolutely stormed. Like the audience almost gave him a standing ovation. And I thought, like, what's the odds of two people hitting on the same joke? Suppose it happens. It can happen. You know what I mean? And he could just, and then I left it, and he hardly ate. He didn't eat anything after that.
And then you roped me in to back you up. You see?
Yeah,
I think I heard that. He rang his wife. He was ringing his agent. He was ringing everybody to go with.
I remember later on we're walking and he's walking behind us on his mobile going and trying to get the agent and trying to get a solicitor and all the rest of it. Remember how to tell him in the end, I'm only messing.
Yeah.
You ruined the man's dinner there.
Oh,
He hasn't forgiven us.
Slap it up him.
Yeah.
But no, I think that's part of the game. If you can torture your friends, that's part of the enjoyment in life.
Which you did to us as well. Do you want to tell the good
I'm not telling that story.
We're telling that story.
No,
That's
I'll tell you a different
story.
story because I'm doing that story in my show this year, so shut up.
Oh,
that's it.
Right,
I'll tell you a different
early.
story. He won't want you to tell me. So, because
you're telling our story on your show.
I'm telling about you, talking about you.
Right.
So that's
this
only
about-
small.
about-
Yes.
Okay, all right, okay. Well, we'll not spoil that then.
Okay,
because
thank you, Tim.
thank
Seeing as
you
I'm not
very
getting
much
paid for this, Tim,
thank
I
you
would
very
like
much.
you not to give everything away.
All right, okay.
But there's a better story, which I prefer,
Right.
this story. So, Timothy, right, because most of my life before comedy I had a life, and I mixed with very unsavoury characters of many varieties. And so one of them, I'm in a pub one night, and we're talking, he pulled me over, he says, he says,
Your big mate was in my shop.
he says,
What? Maybe he was in my shop.
now, what made this interesting was this man owned a sex shop in Gresham Street.
Oh, right.
Hello?
Where's this going?
Seriously?
Two, which big mate? Big Tim McGuy.
Tell me more. Tell me more. What? He says, he's in trying to buy a whip.
Oh, thank you, Jesus, thank you. Tell me more. So he says,
I was in trying to buy a whip, and he says, he's a cheap big bastard.
I says, what do you mean? He says, my whips were too dear. He went down the road to buy a whip out of another shop, right? So that's okay. So I had that blocked off. So we're doing the blame game, and we'll have the meeting this day. And you have to play these things rightly. And I sort of, all the rest of it, and I started chatting, and I says, listen, Tim, can I have a word with you after? Just a quiet word. And you can see you sort of going, who? So I get him outside, and I said, listen, I'm not judging you. First of all, it's none of my business, right? But I know that somebody's taking a picture of you coming out of a sex shop in Gresham Street. And I know that the Sunday World are running a story this Sunday exposing Tim McGarry, the pervert, you know what I mean, coming out of the Gresham Street shop. Oh, no, I was in getting a prop for my live show. I was in getting a prop. And he had a cardiac. I swear to Christ, I thought he was going to drop. I let him go for about 5 minutes. And I said, my name is Anthony.
Yeah.
Do you
Well,
want
that's
to
a story,
clean this up a bit?
Yeah, well, it was a prop for one of those.
All right, okay.
You don't know.
All right, let's stick with that. Yeah, that's the first I've heard of this.
First you heard of that?
Yes.
Well, there
yes.
you go.
It wasn't a show I was in.
There
I
you
know that.
go.
This is lies and falsehoods, ladies and gentlemen. Drip
Anyway,
coffee is absolutely delicious. You should get yourself a cup of drip coffee on the Omar Road anytime you get a chance. You are a bad bastard. So are you telling that story about the Give Me Headpiece thing?
Yes,
So
yes,
we can't go into that?
No, you can't go into
Oh,
that.
for God's
Tough,
sake.
tough
yes,
stuff. Well, you get a free ticket. You can see it in my show.
Because it was a very good trick.
Very good
He
trick.
played a very nasty good
Very
trick.
nasty trick that I enjoyed greatly.
So you still, I mean, we are of a certain age and we're going kind of.
Well, you stop going on about a certain
because
age.
we are, and we're still getting away with it. We Give Me Headpiece stuff, Christmas special, and this, that, and the other. But the new comedians coming up, I mean, it's all online. You have your own sort of.
Yes, Jake
YouTube.
O'Kane. Jake O'Kane online. Jake O'Kane. I'm on Patreon now.
Have you a Patreon?
I have a wee Patreon.
And are you making a fortune?
I'm not making a fortune, Tim, unfortunately. But there was one guy, this is true, first week, this thing pops up. So they pay £5 a month, whatever it was.
And what do you give them for £5 a month? More Jake O'Kane?
More humour, Tim. Do you know what I mean?
Wow.
I don't talk about gas and fucking coffee. I'm talking old school. I'm talking
Whoa.
legitimate comedy
we will
who
not have
hasn't
Felix.
prostituted itself to the man. That's what I'm talking
You
about.
won't buy a ticket to see the man. Would you not just pay a few pounds and Patreon account?
This guy pops up, 50 quid. 50 quid a month. And I went, oh, fuck, some old idiot. You know, I thought this is some old man who's not, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And everybody else was happy days. So I emailed him. I said, listen, tell you what it is. You've hit a naught after the 5, whatever it is. So listen, maybe you want to credit. He said, no, Jake, I come into a bit of money and I'm spreading it about.
Oh.
Hey! So, is there any other people out there who've come into a bit of money and would like to finance an elderly comic making his way in the world? They'll be very gratefully received. No, so that's what but it's different than this. This is, you're lazy bastards. This is all set up for you.
Well,
There's a wee guy, there's a monkey over there doing all the dials and
I think
the
the word
video.
is producer.
Is that what it is?
Esteemed
producer. He's about
rather than
12.
monkey.
He's about 12. So
wishes.
I had to get the wee place. I had to do everything, the audio, visual, get cameras, and that's the tough bit. The tough bit is the editing's a bollocks. So if there's any young people out there who would like some work experience,
He doesn't do any editing.
he just passes it
puts
on
it all
to.
out
Oh, he's
there.
got his own wee man to pass it on to. So that's a bit. So it keeps the brain ticking over.
Because we talked about this for ages, a podcast upon, but we are old school and kind of going. Our journey was theatre, then radio, then TV, and then you've made it to TV, and now
This is
youngsters
it.
don't even.
Let me tell you, I've been saying this for the last 5 years. Do you remember way back in the blame game? Right, I came in one day and I had a Twitter account. Right.
Yes.
And the abuse I took from you bastards.
Oh, what are you, some sort of paedophile? Haha! Are you online trying to get some wee girl or something?
And I remember saying to you, this is the future. This is free advertising. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Having a Twitter account is, you know what I mean? It's free. You do your stuff and you put it out there. My joy was about 2 years later, I come into the green room one day and Murph's sitting there, right? And I'm leaving.
Jake,
What is it?
I'm doing a tour. Is there any way you could mention it on your Twitter account?
Yeah. So this is the future.
Yeah.
This is the future for comedy, particularly.
Yeah.
Especially for the sort of stuff I do, which can be edgy. Let's just say it can be occasionally edgy. TV is basically falling down to a point of extinction because there's so much. Like I remember a producer one day saying to me, remaining nameless, Jake, you've done an awful lot of stuff in the DUP recently. Is there any way you could maybe? And I'm sort of going, I do topical news. I don't make the news up. If the DUP stop making dicks of themselves, I will then do the shinners. And this is the way it works. So this is where comedy will inevitably go. It'll go online, where you don't have some.
But
dick.
the online is feeding live stuff though as well. I mean, you're selling people.
Yes,
selling
well,
tickets
I
and
don't.
stuff
That's never been my motivation. That's never to do it. Like put it this way: you say I don't do warm ups. I don't go out during the year. Like I'm not out gigging anymore. I don't do at all. No, I did that one up for our mutual friend Glenn Owen as a favour. But I'm not doing clubs or anything. So to keep the brain ticking over, you do have to keep that mechanism working. So for me, this is a way to keep doing stuff,
right?
So it doesn't slow and sort of get So for me, that's what that was. The ticket sales, yes, but I don't know how much of an influence that's going to make. It'll help. but it'll keep your profile out there. You know, people will sort of go,
Oh, he isn't dead. I thought he was dead. Oh, he's dead.
so that's good. But I think it's just good to do. Just good to have this.
Yeah. No, it is, and it's. I mean, it's in from our perspective as well. It kind of going, we're talking to lots of the younger comedians as well, and there's the scene now. The scene, God of sound. I mean, it's burgeoning. I mean, there's comedians selling out SSE arenas and waterfronts.
Brilliant. Here's the world I live in. This is the problem with our business. You know this. It is so competitive and so bitchy. It is just so bitchy, you know. Where everybody's looking over their shoulder, going, "Oh, he's good. Shit, he's good." You know what I mean? It's not a do
Who was the English comedian was on the blame game? Dave Johns, lovely northern comedian. We were in a pub afterwards with him, and he was slagging somebody off, and somebody else was slagging off another comedian. He said, "What's the collective now for a group of comedians?" I said, "I don't know." He says, "A bitter."
There's plenty. I live in a world of abundance. I swear to God, that's my mentality. Go for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you can do what you're going to do, then do what you're going to do, and stop looking over your shoulder at what somebody else is doing or not doing or whatever.
Yes.
It's just so
Well,
negative.
see, my perspective is I used to be, sometimes I get a bit snobby about comedy, or I don't like this or like. I admire anybody who can stand up in a room full of strangers and make them laugh. And I was on tour there recently. I had Terry McHugh, I had a guy called Johnny Bowe, one-liner, I had Dave Elliott and stuff like that. And there's loads of guys out there who can go and do half an hour for you.
And girls, Tim.
The next guest on the Give My Head podcast is Teresa Livingstone, superb.
It is funny watching people die, though. Isn't it?
Do you know, I can never do that. That's the one thing.
Oh, come on.
I can't. No, I really can't. And the Empire over the years, I have had to literally... Oh, it's awful. I find that really so
difficult.
difficult.
People have you had to rescue
I have
or comfort afterwards.
Oh, I've had tears. You know, there was one night a guy hit the mic. The lights hit him. No, they get the mic and well, his hand hit the mic, and that was it. Like, I mean, that was it.
He froze.
I thought he'd had a stroke. I swear to Christ. And you're all waiting, and whatever it is. He froze. You know what I mean? I know the audience are thinking it's part of the act. They say, hey, nothing. And of course, Jackie goes, get him off the stage. I had to prise his fingers off the microphone and just lead this child back to the dressing room. The ones that kill me are the ones who, shall we say, are a bit overconfident. You know? And the one that really kills me is the ones who go out, die on their arse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? By anybody's criteria, die on their hole and come back to the green run. Stormed.
See that storm? See what I did there? Genius.
See what I did? And you're sort of going, what planet?
Yeah.
It is what I call the 3 tests of wickness. Right, so you look at it, the act, and you go, well, look, is it wick? Well, yes, it's wick. You know, does it make you feel wick? Watching it, yep, feeling wicked. And the third one, that's the most important one, is do you feel wick for them? And if it's wick, it makes you feel wick, and you feel wick for them, then it's wick.
The DQuinn 3 tests of weakness have survived.
That's very good. But I love to see, I do genuinely love to see people go out and do well. Do you know what I mean? Because it's a real buzz.
Unless you're going after them.
Well, you don't want to do too well if they're going after them. Yeah, that's work. But like, even that, I think, you know, like Terry McHugh. Every year we do that for about 10. Terry is good.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Terry is very, very good. So I have to up my game.
Yeah.
You know, I have to be on the ball because, you know...
And warm-up's tough because you want the audience to be warm. And go, I'm enjoying a laugh and... You know, the main act's
I'll wait to bring him back on.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want that. Go, all right, you're a bit shaky.
But Terry. So that keeps you on your toes. But it's what it be Paddy from Ballymena.
Oh, Paddy McGaughy.
Paddy McGahy's a lovely fella.
The nicest man in showbiz.
Lovely. And when Paddy was starting off, he was a kid and he used to go out and he'd leave his notes right on the bottom of the stage. We're crafty. We'd hide our notes here and there, whatever. But Paddy would get sort of about 5 minutes in and he'd say, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but I forgot what I'm going to say next. So if you wouldn't mind, I'm just going to check my notes. And he'd pick up and the whole audience would go, oh,
But he was
genius.
Worked it into the act.
He worked it into the act. And I thought, you clever bastard.
He's such a nice guy. And then everybody just warms to him. And he's got some beautiful lines. As
Oh.
well. Paddy's an absolute.
And you never know. And there's an endeared thing. When McIntyre, he did his first live show in Belfast. When he did his first one in Belfast, it was a big tent down in Custom House Square, 1,000-seater, and I was comparing. And I went out, and I did very well, thank God. But I came back to the green room, and he's sitting in the corner of the green room with this wee notebook, right? Flicking through a notebook, and he goes, "It's all shite. This is all shite. This is all absolute shite." You know what I mean? This is all. And I said, "They're gonna." He says, "You stormed. You're the local guy. I'm fucked. This is it. Stormed." You know what I mean?
Did, yeah.
But I thought that was really endearing. You know what I mean? There was none of that big bald stuff. I'm a genius or all that there. Yeah. And that, I think you have a wee bit of that. Always.
There's nothing like the atmosphere though in a live, particularly with stand up. You can always tell when it's going well.
Yeah.
The atmosphere is incredible, but it doesn't translate to television.
No.
You know, you can
Stand
see.
up? No.
Yeah.
No.
You know, one of the few, of course, is Billy Connolly, who was a great TV comedian. And you could see him doing his show live, and it was on TV, and you were laughing along with everybody else. But it generally is. You need to be there.
Very hard.
You need to be there. Like.
You have to. It's a live. That's what I love. That's why I've always loved touring. You know, that's where I feel most comfortable. Do you know what I mean? That again, the neurodivergent brain, I could never understand that. See, if I walk into a room and there's 5 people, I'm really awkward. I've always been really.
I can vouch for that.
You know what I mean?
You're antisocial, aren't you?
No, I can't.
You wouldn't even come to my birthday party.
Because I can't cope with that.
You don't like
no,
parties.
not that I don't like it. I really find it really difficult. I find it.
No, you're too mean to buy a present.
No, I find it really difficult. Small talk and all that stuff. I just find
you
all
don't
that
do
stuff.
that. No, that's
I don't do that. I can't do it. So it should always.
But you can stand up in front of 1,000 people.
I walk out in front of the Opera House, 1,000 people. I swear I can be so relaxed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm too relaxed. I'm just completely relaxed in that environment. So that's part of this weird brain. You know what I mean? And it was explained to me is because when you're in that position, you're so focused. My brain is so focused that it's relaxing. Yeah. Whereas if I'm in a room, all these people, my brain's going, "What's he saying? What? He doesn't like me. I don't fucking like him. What's going on there?" You know what I mean? It's too much information, very information coming in. So I found a pastime that suits me completely.
It's therapy for you.
It is therapy.
It really is. Shit out of that you want to say.
I am venting. I've always said that comedy for me, is therapy.
And you're getting an instant reaction from an audience who love it. And
I get paid for it.
David Hull gives you a few quid at the end.
He leaves me a few after he's taken his whack out.
What more could you want? Do you know where we went wrong, Jake? And me in particular. Well, you as well. Not good enough. Not good looking enough.
No comedy, for Christ's
sake. The reason I say that is because you go back to John Bishop, first ever appearance on television was on The Blame Game, right? And John's very funny. I like John. John's a great guy. His first ever, and he was on The Blame Game. And we've been going for a few years, and people go, sure, whoever the guest was, he went, it's all right. For 2 weeks afterwards, who was that Scouse fella? He was nice. He was lucky. He was great. He was great. And it was John Bishop, of course. And it's basically women fancied him. That's where I went wrong.
Stop being a bitter old bastard. Just wise up to yourself. You've had a tube up your hole a couple of weeks ago. It's over. Just give it up. We're just hanging on here. You understand? If we get to the end of the year, we're doing well.
If we get to the end of this podcast, we'll be all right.
I want to be handsome. That's it.
No,
that's what it is.
No, I'm saying that's not what I'm saying.
You see, the next thing, plastic surgery. That'll be the next thing. There'll be all sorts of stuff he'll be getting.
No, I'm just saying we could have been stratospheric. Well, you could have been stratospheric.
No, I could never because I never did. I couldn't again because whatever. To do that you have to go to the UK. To do this, you have to be in London. You know, if you want to do this seriously, stand up, and you wanted to do that sort of stuff, you had to be in London. You had to be touring all around the UK.
Sorry to interrupt, but that's kind of not quite true now because you can't sit here and make a very good living with the likes of Shane Todd and Colin Geddes and Paddy McDonald, stuff like that. Now they are going across the water and doing stuff, but to make it very
we're talking in our day, right?
Yes.
In our day, there was.
But to be fair, yes, the likes of Shane wouldn't be well known.
No, but even that, you had that's the game you wanted. I couldn't do that. I've tried it. I did it for a while. I used to do Glasgow and Edinburgh. I did London a couple of times. Scared the life out of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I never fancied that lifestyle, and so that's the price you pay.
You and Murph used to do sort of junglers clubs and all over England.
Yeah. And but you're getting stuck on. I remember one night I was in Jongleurs at 12:30, going into, and I did okay. I know how you know you're doing okay is when the other comics come out of the green room to watch you.
Oh, right.
You know what I mean? So that's it. But I could have done more with it, but. within the limitations of my little head, I'm quite happy. You know what I mean? I'm quite happy. If I've always said I like to go to a gig and be able to drive home. You know what I mean? I want to be in my own bed at the end of the night, and so I don't think I missed anything.
Yeah. No, I think we're kind of similar. We never really. I mean, Give Me a Head piece was obviously very local. Wasn't going to make it.
But by the way, thanks for comparing me with you and looks. I would have to say that I'm much better looking than you ugly bastard. But thanks for just trying to lump me in.
Whoa.
You know what I mean? Jake, we're very similar. We're both ugly bastards.
We could
you
you
put a
speak
can
for
of worms here.
yourself.
We could have an online poll about that if you want, but no,
this is the beauty of this. You can now do this and you can put it out there. And what I love about it is it's like throwing a pebble into a pond. You don't know where those ripples go.
Yeah.
You know, because I've people contacting me from Australia, Canada. You know what I mean? They're all expats.
Yeah.
But you know, we don't need now. We don't have to be tied in to UTV or BBC and some producer saying, no, that's not really funny. Have you had? And you know it's funny. You know what I mean? You have some producer who hasn't got a fucking clue saying to you, no, that doesn't work. Yeah. And you're sort of going, I've been doing this for fucking 25 years. This is going to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're not tied.
Dickhead producer, the producers Give Me a Head piece. Well, wait a minute. Sorry, that's me. Sorry.
But there's a difference. There's the difference, you see. That proves my point.
Yeah.
You're a comic.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You've got those sensibilities. There's a reason why the Hole in the Wall have worked for so long. You are a comedian. So you're able to tune into that and go, yeah, this is going well. I like this. Or let's just change that slightly.
Oh, good God, is that do you know the time? You've seen the motion. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't believe that time flew. Jake, that flew. Do you want to plug your tour? You're starting on the 28th of December.
20th of December.
You're all over the place.
We are in
January.
Ballycastle, and then we are all over. We're in Enniskillen. We are in Ulster Hall. We are in Newry. Oh, help me. We are every hole in the hedge, all over across. If there's a theatre near you, we will be there at some stage. And if you don't want to come and see me, come and see Terry McHugh. He's a very funny man.
He's a very
and
nice
he's a
man.
good-looking chap too. So there you go.
I might lend Tim McGarry some money to buy it.
Would you do that?
Yeah.
Just this year, just once,
Just for once.
just for
Yeah. It'd be
once.
nice. Yeah.
You'd love not to be getting that phone call.
Jake, is there any chance things aren't going well?
Speaking of which, Give Me a Head Piece Live is on tour all over March of next year. We're in the Grand Opera House at the end of March, till the 24th to 29th, and we're in Derry and everywhere. We're everywhere. Look up Give Me a Head Piece Live. Get your tickets now. But go and see Jake. We like Jake. Jake is great. Jake, you have broken your podcast.
Thank you very much.
You have, what's the word for it? Anyway, you've popped your podcast.
No, leave it. Tell him.
You've been great. It's been great to have you.
You've done
Thank you,
great.
David. Appreciate it.
Thanks very much to our sponsors, Drip Coffee, and of course to our fabulous new sponsors, Phoenix Energy NI. Go to Phoenix Energy. NI.com for all your information about Phoenix Energy and gas and stuff. We really appreciate your support. Thank you very much. We are back next week with our terrific guest, Teresa Livingstone, another brilliant comedian. But ladies and gentlemen, let's say thank you very much to Mr. Jake O'Kane.
Pleasure.